Exposed, the real cost of emergency funds. Your emergency fund has lost you over $47,000. Pause. That's not a typo. That's not clickbait. That's the actual math on a $50,000 emergency fund held for 20 years, while the S&P averaged 10% annual returns. But here's what kills me. The people who told you to build that fund, financial advisors, your parents, every personal finance guru on the internet, they're not losing 47 grand. You are. Today I'm going to show you exactly why the traditional emergency fund is one of the most expensive pieces of financial advice ever given to the middle class. You're going to see the real numbers. You're going to understand why this advice exists in the first place, and you're going to walk away with a framework that protects you without bleeding money every single year. Let's get into it. Section 1. The math they don't want you to do. Pull up a compound interest calculator right now. Seriously, do it. Put in $30,000. That's 6 months of expenses for the average American household. Set the return to zero, because that's what your high yield savings account gives you after inflation. Now look at what happens over 20 years. Pause. Nothing. 30,000 stays 30,000 in real purchasing power. Maybe worse. Now run it again at 8%. The inflation-adjusted S&P return. That 30,000 becomes $139,000. The difference over 100 grand. Gone, evaporated, sacrificed on the altar of financial security. But wait, it gets worse. That high-yield savings account paying you 4%. Inflation is running 3 to 4%. Your safe money is treading water at best, drowning at worst. Every single year your emergency fund exists, you're paying an invisible tax that nobody talks about. Pause. Now let me be clear. I'm not saying emergencies don't happen. I'm not saying you should YOLO your rent money into crypto. What I'm saying is the standard advice, 3 to 6 months in cash sitting there doing nothing, was designed for a different era. Section 2. Follow the money. Here's a question nobody asks. Who benefits when you keep 50 grand in a savings account? Banks do. Pause. They take your deposit, pay you 4%, and loan it out at 7, 8, 12% for mortgages, credit cards, business loans. The spread, that's their profit. Your money, their profit. Financial advisors benefit too. Not directly, but think about it. An advisor who tells you to invest your emergency fund takes on liability. If the market drops 30% the same month you lose your job, guess who you're blaming? But an advisor who says keep 6 months in cash, that's safe advice. For them, this isn't conspiracy. It's just incentives, and when you understand incentives, you stop taking advice at face value. Section 3. What wealthy people actually do. I spent 6 months studying the habits of people with 7-figure net worths. Want to know how many of them keep 6 months cash in a savings account? Pause. Almost none. Here's what they do instead. They use margin loans against investment portfolios. If they need emergency cash, they borrow against their stocks at 2 to 3% interest without selling and triggering capital gains. The money stays invested, the emergency gets handled, the compounding never stops. They keep home equity lines of credit open, zero cost until you use it. Instant access to 6 figures if something goes wrong. They maintain credit card limits of $50,000 to $100,000, not to carry balances, but to float 30 days interest-free while moving money around. Notice a pattern? Pause. Wealthy people don't let money sit idle. They build systems for accessing capital. They treat liquidity as a tool, not a savings account balance. Section 4, your new framework. Here's what I actually do, and what I recommend if your income is stable and you have decent credit. Tier 1, keep exactly 1 month of expenses in checking. That's your buffer. That's your, oops, I forgot that subscription renewed money. Tier 2, open an HELOC or secure a personal line of credit for $50,000 or more. Don't use it, just have it. This is your true emergency backstop. Tier 3, everything else goes into a brokerage account. Index funds, ETFs, investments that actually grow. Yes, they fluctuate, but here's the data point that changes everything. The S&P 500 has never in history lost money over any 15-year period. Never. The longest recovery from any crash was about 5 years. If your emergency fund needs to last longer than 5 years, you don't have an emergency, you have a lifestyle problem. Now, disclaimers matter. This strategy requires stable income, Good credit, emotional discipline not to panic sell. If you're commission-based, self-employed, or have credit issues, you might need more cash cushion. Context matters, but for the average W-2 employee following generic advice, you're leaving serious money on the table. Pause. The financial industry has spent decades convincing you that cash equals safety, but in an inflationary economy, cash is a guaranteed slow bleed. The truly safe move is building systems that give you access to money when you need it, while letting it work for you when you don't. That's not reckless. That's math. If this changed how you think about your money, hit subscribe. I drop videos like this every week, challenging the advice that keeps middle-class people middle-class. Next video, I'm breaking down why paying off your mortgage early is another expensive mistake. You're going to want to see those numbers. Subscribe now. I'll see you in the next one.